last week, of course. How disappointing is it to not get over the line today?
Yeah, well, it's disappointing, obviously. I felt like we had plenty of chances. Thought the game was played the way we wanted it to play. There were some things we needed to do better, clearly. But all in all, I was pretty happy with the game, just not the result.
It felt like it could have fallen either way at the end of the game. Is there any reason why you think they managed to get over the line and not you?
They certainly responded quickly to our scores. I think they managed to do that twice, the last two goals perhaps. I'm not sure. I'd need to go back and watch it again just to if there was anything. I mean, I felt like we put ourselves in a position to win the game and didn't necessarily capitalise on the opportunities that we had. I felt like we allowed them to score too freely, too easily, and they capitalised really well. And then when it's a coin flip towards the end of the game, it's they win a contest here or the ball bounces whichever way and, it can go your way. So whether it was that simple or not, I need to have another look.
Do you feel like it's fallen like it's the way you set into
Well, I think if you look at the game, it's largely around inside 50s and front half turnovers, and we managed to dominate those two stats. We finished our work okay. The reality is they had 47 entries and scored 30 times, and that's just far too much. So as I said, we had opportunities. We had the game how we wanted it to look. We didn't defend their entries anywhere near to the level, and there are a couple of different reasons for that, but we need to be better. So, we did. Yeah.
Is there an issue with connection or something?
I'd say we have moments where it is an issue. I'd say overall, if you look at the scoring shots to entries, we're okay, but we have too many moments where it falls away and we don't maximise our entries. And in order to build pressure against opposition, you need to be able to put a score on the board as well as defend it. And had we been able to finish our work a little better, perhaps the result might have been different. But the reality is, out of the blocks, they scored 6 goals from stoppage in the first quarter. So you're always behind the 8 ball when you concede that amount of score from a single score source, particularly when that should be a roughly game average, perhaps less than. Yep. Well, I thought after quarter time he competed really strongly. I think he kicked 2 goals himself. He can challenge. He's very unique in terms of his athleticism, so he can challenge above his head and below his knees. So I think he's a threat. He's still, in game sense, a young developing ruckman. He hasn't played too many games. He's probably in the 20s, I would guess. So, I've been pleased with him. But again, the more experienced he gets, it's going against us in the first quarter, do something about it. And I'm sure he'll do that, because I think he has that character.
What does it mean for the team here to keep that late goal, obviously? It might get you over the line.
Yep.
Josh Fay, Aaron Captain also step up late as
Yeah.
well. Promising signs for the future.
Absolutely. I was really, really pleased with that. I mean, you got 3 of your younger guys, least experienced guys in the team, finishing the work under pressure. And scoreboard pressure, time pressure. I was so happy for those guys to be able to do that. And they need to treat it as a building block. I think we have a lot of developing players who could be really good players. We've got to learn our lessons along the way. But, I felt like today they could have learnt their lessons and won the game. So that's something we'll continue to work on.
Brett Daniels obviously would have been handy late in the game.
Yep.
Let us know what's happening with him.
Hamstring, so I'm not sure the severity. You get scans tomorrow. Hopefully not too bad, because he's one of our most important players, and he's been in fantastic form. I thought he started the game really well. He's lively. He just looks like something's going to happen every time he's around the ball. So hopefully it's a short spell for him, and he's back soon.
And how is Brett with that? Because obviously he's had some troubles with the
Yeah. So it's not the same leg; it's the opposite leg. So it's I don't know if that's comforting, but it's not a historical issue. It's just he got caught in a bad position where he was reaching in front of him for a ball and got contact, and unfortunately, he's been pretty resilient for the most part across the year, but just got him in a bad spot. So, as I said, he'll get scans tomorrow. Hopefully, not too bad.
Toby kicked a couple of big goals late, but he was talking to the trainers early in the game and maybe was quiet in periods. Was he carrying anything at all? Was he managing anything?
Yeah, he's got a few niggles. That's fair to say. I think he's he's pretty tough. He doesn't say a lot, but he's got a couple of bumps and bruises that he's managing, but nothing that doesn't stop him performing. And he kicked 3 again today. He had some challenging moments too, but I thought he fought through it well and led his team appropriately. Yep.
That final play, send a pinball back and forth a couple of times. Was there anything structurally you would like to have seen?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, it's always difficult when it is live and the ball's bouncing around because you can sort of lose the structure, as can they, a little bit chasing the ball. I always say depth is important, but the reality is, as I said before, you win a critical contest, the ball bounces your way. The game can look how it is. It can be that simple towards the end of the game when it's a coin flip. So. As I said, I'll go back and review it to see if there was any system breakdown, but in that phase, I don't think there was.
Tom Green had a lot of the ball today. What did you want to see from him today?
Yeah, look, Tom continues to find the ball each and every week. I think he's a beast inside. I think he wins the ball and gets it going our way. He's a really difficult player to play on. Wasn't sure exactly what they would do with him leading into the game, but it appeared they just played. And that allowed him to get his hands dirty, in the contest. And again, he's a very influential player for us. He's a real leader developing. So, he continues to improve. He's played low 50s now, so he'll only get better.
How did you feel the midfield went against their former teammate, Tim Sorrento?
Well, he had a lot of the ball. He finished with a goal. I was pretty pleased after quarter time. I thought in the first quarter, our midfield were beaten. I thought the likes of Taranto, Bolton, Prestia, being able to spread out of the stoppage and the contest really hurt us. And ultimately that was why they scored from stoppage. Shea had a particularly influential first quarter as a midfielder. But then after quarter time, I felt like we tightened it up and were able to manage that. I thought our pressure was really, really good after quarter time, and we were able to get the game back on our terms a little bit. Well, I just want us to play the way we've been playing the last 2 weeks. Clearly today we need to defend a little bit better than what we did. So we'll get to work on that during the week and hopefully see an improvement against North Melbourne down in Tassie. I've been pleased with our ball use. I think we're challenging. Our stoppage has been reasonable, but again, we'll review the first quarter and tidy up some things. But I think the last 2 games have been quite reflective of how I would like us to be as a team. And if we look like that, then we'll probably get the result more often than not. But obviously nothing's guaranteed. So we didn't get it tonight. We move on. Thanks, guys.